Hi, what's up? Um, Not really used to doing kind of this stuff, but I figured it would hopefully help at least someone in this world. So I decided to hop online and just make a video kind of going over what I wish I knew when I was a lot younger. A little bit about myself. My name's Tony. I just graduated with my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and I'm about to start one of my first jobs as a mechanical engineer. Um, it's huge. I'm super excited, and there's a lot of key mentalities that I picked up on kind of my journey through this whole process. So I figured this morning when I'm enjoying my cup of coffee, instead of just sitting alone on my phone, I can record this video. So I'm basically just going to be going over 5 big things that I learned throughout my years in undergrad and things I learned post high school. And these are all things that I could have easily implemented in my life much earlier. I just was kind of naive to these ideas, or maybe I just didn't really know exactly how to tackle some of this stuff. So let's jump into it. So, number one, I would say one of the biggest things I had to learn leaving high school was how to stop judging who you are as a person based on how other people think of you. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of this was when I was graduating, I was walking as a high school graduate, and I saw this one kid from my school. I said, "Oh, like, hey, it's nice to see you, yada, yada, yada." And he had tons of these the fucking cords or whatever. I'm not sure how that stuff works. I didn't really have any when I graduated high school because I was kind of a bum. But I was like, yeah, like that's really cool. And his comment back was, well, yeah, Tony. Some people actually are smart in this world. That's how you get stuff like that. And in retrospect, it was probably just him being playfully digging at me. But at the time, I remember it was weird, and I remember I kind of had this like huge flashback in the moment, and I had looking back at all those thoughts and stuff, I'm like, wow, he's right though. It's he's just smarter. He's just better, and it was weird because I completely removed the thought that that is actively something that I could work on and become smarter. I was just fixated on the thought of, oh, people around me think I'm not smart, so I'm not smart. And I didn't apply myself. And when I went to undergrad, I realized how bad I messed myself up in terms of having no discipline, having no kind of like good study habits, things of that nature. It really messed me up in that regard. And I really wish I could go back and kind of realize that it doesn't matter what these kind of inputs from other people are saying, or it doesn't matter what people are judging you on, or for who you are, or what you're here for. That all doesn't matter, and you should be looking into yourself and yourself only for who you really truly are. And that is something that I learned really helped me kind of branch out into the things that I actually love doing, and realizing that maybe I actually can be a little bit smart. I'm not no genius or anything. Don't get me wrong. I freaking limped my way through college, but it's definitely something that is like a tangible thing that you can work on today, is just stop caring about what other people think of you, and just truly continue on a path of success and self-love that brings in all of these different aspects of your life to something that makes you who you truly are. Number two, this is something that I think is massive in today's day and age, especially with us being all online, everyone kind of getting so much stimulus from all these different sources every single day. And this point is discipline is much more important. Discipline is much more important than motivation. Motivation can only get you so far. I think about all these things that I used to do as a kid, or things I used to pick up on, have it be music, or have it be working on cars, or working on like jet skis or other projects that I've had around my life. And one of the big things that I realized is you can always be like, you can always sit there and think like, oh, this is going to be so awesome when I do this, or I do that, or I do XYZ, and then that happens, and then it's all perfect. But I've learned over the years that no matter what, no matter how motivated you are to do stuff, no matter how ecstatic you are to get things done, or yada, 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 sometimes that motivation will always eventually run out. And you'll start to drag heels, you'll start to kind of perform lackluster, have it be in your work life, have it be in your hobby life, have it be in just being who you are as a person. That's something that can really drive off you on your course, kind of. So, what I mean by discipline being more important than motivation is when you're disciplined, you are able to just function without the need of motivation. Have it be something that you do love, or have it be something that you don't love. It's really, really, really important to kind of just be able to look at yourself and say, hey, look, like if I'm gonna be successful, or if I'm gonna be that dude out on the street that's performing well and everything and everyone loves them, you're gonna have to put in the grind. You're gonna have to put in that extra determination and discipline within yourself to not veer off that course, or not veer off the path of forever just enlightenment, of just fixing shit or finishing shit. That's huge. And the best way to kind of gauge your discipline, I think, is to be able to kind of like think about times that you could have been more disciplined. Have it be, oh, you have this project in the garage that you're working on and you want to get it done for the summer, but after work you come home and you sit on your phone for 2 hours. When you kind of pull back the curtains and look at your scope of life objectively like that, it really does come to show that discipline is huge. And being able to come home and be like, yeah, I could go on my phone, but I could also throw a quick 30 minutes in the garage working on my projects, get that out of my hair, and then I'm able to go to bed knowing that I did a lot more than what I normally would have. So that's huge. Discipline, discipline, discipline. I'm not the one that can really speak too heavily on how to obtain that, or how to get really, really involved into what discipline actually is, but one of my later points might touch on that a little bit more. So number three, everything outside of your control is just nature, and you shouldn't get upset about what happens in nature, or outside factors, if you will. What I mean by this is, I remember a couple weeks ago, I started to get like a clunking in my front car. Like there was some suspension shit going on in my car, and I couldn't drive it. Well, that's all fine and dandy, because I went and I studied up online, like what should I do, and then I found the right parts to get, and I ended up just being able to buy my parts for my car and fix it in the garage right here. That's perfectly fine, but I do remember after like a week of replacing those parts, what ended up happening is the clunk that I originally set out to fix came back again. And I remember it threw off the equilibrium to the rest of my day. I wasn't able to think about anything. I wasn't able to do anything, because all I was just pissed off because I thought I fixed something in my life, and it was at that point outside of my control. And this is a good example of, okay, this is outside of my control. So there's no need for me to get upset because it's simply a factor that's outside of my control, and getting upset at it is not going to do me any good. Thinking of it along the lines of, okay, this just happens, or have it be even like bullying or people doing you dirty or people doing X, Y, and Z to you that you don't approve of. It's like that's all outside nature, and it's gonna happen one way or another, and it's completely out of your control. So there's zero reason to get upset with it, or to dwell on what you could have done better, or to sit there and focus on what you could have done or what you could do in the future. Focus on the present, focus on the right now, and focus on you, yourself, and what are the parameters you actually can deal with to make things better. Now, circling back to my first kind of example there, what could I have done? I could have taken my car, put it back in the garage, put it up on the lift, or jack stands. I don't have a freaking lift. I'm not crazy like that. Put it up on the jack stands and go take a look for yourself. Go see what's wrong. Go see what's causing the clunking. And lo and behold, I just didn't tighten something down good enough. That's a perfect example of just keep the outside factors to a minimum when it comes to your inner dialogue within yourself on what you can and can't do. The next point, this one's massive, and this one is the huge one that really, really, really took this really takes the cake for one of the ones that is most important to me, I think, and that's read. Read, 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 read. Read as much literature as you can. That is the key to knowledge. That's the key to outside perspectives in this world that can actually lead you to a much better life. I have a couple books that I have in front of me that I've read. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, amazing, amazing book going over Stoicism. Highly, highly recommend. Atomic Habits. This one's also pretty remarkable in terms of what you can realize you can accomplish in such a short time. This book was honestly kind of mid. I mean, I read it though, so it's literature, but you definitely pull away a different person every single time you read a book. And it doesn't have to be these nonfiction titles like I just shared with you. It literally can just be anything. And I truly think that reading is one of the key ways to just success in this world and knowledge in general, and just being able to take away as much from this world as possible while you're here. Because when you're living in the present moment like that, life is so short. You could think 3, 4 generations in the future, or you can think 2 hours in the future. And it doesn't quite matter which distance you kind of gauge in your future, because your life is really so short, no matter which way you cut it, no matter which way you dissect the situation. The best thing for you to do is to just get up and go figure out some new shit in life. Go think about some new topics, or think about some cool new literature to kind of just absorb yourself in and get some outside perspectives, and you come away with a lot more wisdom in the day-to-day life. And that's truly something that I think leads to a lot of success in this world. And lastly, self-love is much more important than seeking approval from others. I had to learn this in many ways, and I honestly have struggled with this my whole life. This is something that I still kind of try to fight with on occasion in today's day and age. But self-love is huge. You can't do anything. It doesn't matter what hand you were dealt in life. If you're not able to love yourself, you're not going to be able to find any discipline or any incentive to do anything in this world. Self-love is huge, and you should not be seeking approval from others to kind of fill in that void of not having your self-love. I learned that with outside relationships that I've had with people. You know, I noticed there's a lot of relationships that I've had where I used those relationships as a crutch for this lack of self love that I had for myself, because I would receive it from other people, and then it would kind of blind me from that kind of glim scope of things that I had within myself. That's not healthy, and it's not a good way to be a productive human in society. Ways you can seek self love, I think, is being able to just go to bed every day and say, well, at least I did this today. At least I was able to do this. Or when you're feeling down on yourself, there's always a positive to look at. And I notice that a lot of the times, people with self esteem issues or people that don't really have that self love, they just haven't really clocked in yet how exactly they can dissect those positives in their day-to-day life and how they can actually walk away with something that can actually make them a better person. Self-love is huge, and it truly is something that can drive the future. Have it be your success, have it be what you're passionate about, success, self love, being able to look at yourself in the mirror saying, I'm proud of you, I love you, is huge. And that leads me to the end here. I'm not sure who needs to hear this in this world, but I'm proud of you and keep it up. You're doing great, you're doing awesome, and you will turn into something beautiful in this world if you just keep your head and going forward. With that being said, I'm almost done with my coffee here, and I gotta go to the gym. Alrighty, see ya.